All right, all you honest people out there, if you consider yourself honest, and quite frankly, even if you don't, I'm gonna expose one lie, at least one, anyways, one lie that I've witnessed and even shamelessly even participated in the past. It's a lie that parents tell kids, a lie that kids tell other kids. It's a lie that's shared by virtually any age group. I'd say from the age of 5 or 6 years old all the way to the late adult years. Okay, whatever that ends up being for you. Um, and if you want to know what that is and how it's affecting your reality, stick around. We've got a great show for you today. The question is this where evolution has brought us? The point to where we can lie to ourselves so easily, frequently, and convincingly that we don't even recognize when we're doing it to ourselves, much less to others, right? We're going to challenge your claim of honesty today. And by the end of the stream, you'll have simple ways to hack the 3 biggest lies that are affecting the reality you manifest in the Infinity Matrix. This is Hacking the Infinity Matrix, episode number 31, the lies we tell ourselves and how they impact our reality. I'm Gary Johnson, and this is Ross coming in. There he is.
Hey.
Yeah. Welcome to the weekly stream. Let me just hide this, get this out of the way there. Awesome. Welcome to the weekly stream, everyone, where we unravel the codes within the Infinity Matrix and we deliver real world, easy to implement, and practical reality hacks to help you become unstoppable in creating the reality you desire. If this sounds like the kind of content you would like to add to the value of your life, then make sure you tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. PST. Now, since you're here, you know we love to hear where you're listening in from. So go ahead and let us know in the comments where you're listening in from today. Let's take a look and see.
Tell us.
Awesome. And in today's stream, later in the stream, we're going to talk about how to hack the truth into your reality. All right. And we got a really cool, easy, simple hack for you today. So go ahead and tell us in the comments. Hey, Raina from Florida. Good to see you today. There we go. Got some Canada coming in. Awesome. And for those of you who are here for the first time, we strongly encourage your interaction during the stream. So please start off by dropping in a hashtag first time in the chat so we can properly greet you and say hi. All our regulars, you know who you are. We've noticed you've been slacking, so let's pick it up this week and enter hashtag hooked on hacking. It not only lets us know that you're present, but also helps us out with the Facebook algorithm for better exposure so that more people can get to see the content that we're delivering on a weekly basis. And of course, if you're watching on the replay, it's hashtag replay. We'll put those up just to clear that. All right.
Oh, they're just popping in now. There's everybody. Fantastic.
Great. Now, anytime that you want to get access to more exclusive content or even archived replays of all our past streams, you can go ahead on over to the private group, the Infinity Matrix, if you're not already a member. And the link is scrolling on the bottom here, facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. Let me put that up on the screen as well. And then we'll also drop it into the comments at some point here as well. And let's see if I can do that now. There we go. It should show up in the stream as well. Just when you head on over there, just a couple quick notes. Just make sure you enter and you answer the 3 entry questions so you can automatically be accepted into the group. We hit 7,000 members just a couple weeks ago, and then last week we did our 30th episode. We had quite a few people reach out to me last week to tell me that because if you weren't on the stream, we were asking how many people actually watched all 30 episodes to date, either live or in combination of live and replay. And I got actually a fair amount of people that messaged me, not only in the chat, Ross. I actually got a bunch of PMs, so a bunch of direct messages to let me know as well. And I did promise that we'd be giving away a special prize for one of those one of those people that have been with us since day one and been consistent. And I'll be doing that a little later in the stream today. All right.
I know what it is.
We told everybody last week, but
that's how I know.
Yeah. All right. So where are we at here? We got a ton of people coming in from everywhere. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Did you want to get started there, Ross?
Let's get busy, folks. Let me get myself organized here just a little bit. So, so last week we had a little mishap on our rabbit hole last Friday. So we apologize for those of you that tried to get on and couldn't. We believe it was a Facebook issue, but for whatever reason, the Zoom was not connecting with Facebook.
We're just gonna blame Facebook.
And we're just going to blame them. Yeah, it's kind of an easy.
They're a pretty good scapegoat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So tomorrow, we believe that all the glitches are gone. They've all been taken care of. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., we'll have we're going to redo last week's rabbit hole, and that's going to be really cool. So that streams exclusively to the private group. And so just to let you know, so rabbit hole is a very back and forth. It's an open discussion. And this week's topic is, as last week's topic was, the day the earth stood still for you. So we're going to talk about some of the possibly some of the things that have happened to us and maybe happened to you as well, to where, it's like, kind of these life-changing moments. And they don't have to be tragedies. They can be very good as well. But we're going to talk about those and how these events in our lives have long-term effects on us. And so jump on. You're going to go to hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole.
Yeah, and hey, listen, we have a blast on these calls. So if you can set aside some time and join us on the Zoom, just go to that, and you have to register through Zoom, so that'll take you right to the registration page. And make sure you register right away so you can get access to the link in time. So today, Ross, we've been throwing around this idea for a while for the stream, the topic that we're going to do today. And it's something I bring up with friends, family, and even clients quite regularly, because basically what I do is I just say, well, how do you feel about the fact that you've been lying to others and yourself most of your life? Right now,
yeah.
I like to shake things up and see what kind of responses I get. Right. Well, we all have our ways of having fun, right? Mine is to disrupt the automatic programming and get people to think differently. And that's what I like to begin with today. So let me stir things up before I hand it off to you, Ross. Okay. So, all right, all you honest people that are, quote unquote, honest people that are listening out there. If you consider yourself honest, and quite frankly, even if you don't, as I mentioned in the beginning, even if you don't, I'm going to expose one lie that I've witnessed and, again, shamedly participated in the past. So I've been a part of it. I no longer do it, but I have in the past. It's a lie that, I see parents telling kids all the time. I see, people just randomly, just not even being aware of it, just kind of telling the lie out as if it's the truth. And I've seen it all the way from 5 years old and all the way up. All right. Now, on the surface, it may seem like no big deal, right? But if you start to understand the mechanisms of what happens in the matrix, you'll start to see that this lie is one of the many that lurk in the sublayer coding of people's reality. And what it does is it sets precedents for other lies that can drastically alter your experience of reality. So this global lie that we tell is not, it's not even that, it's no conspiracy, right? It's not politicians, it's not people of power, it's everybody. Okay. And very few exceptions to it that I come across that make the correction when other people say the lie, right? So this lie is that the sun will come up in the morning and the sun will go down in the evening. And no, I'm not here to promote the flat earth whole theory thing. That's not what this is about. Now, whether you believe it or not is your choice, but that's not what we're talking about. Okay, but it's a lie. It's a lie we tell without a second thought to the fact that it's just not true. Right, and after the age of 5 or 6, right, we all know that it's not true, but we continue to tell that lie as if it's truly what happens. I mean, you all know that the sun does not move, right? I mean, this has been widely accepted and established since the 1600s. In fact, it took almost 100 years since Copernicus came up with the idea for it to become the normal way of thinking and communicating that, oh yeah, well, the sun doesn't go around us, we go around it, and all the other planets go around it too, right? So why do we tell ourselves and others that the sun is going down or the sun is coming up? Start to think about that, right? Because there's deeper stuff that we want to get your mind to start to dig into, right? And again, it seems like it's a trivial point, but what it does on a deep level of existence is that it allows for us to be okay with adjusting our perceptions of reality in order to conform with societal norms.
Yep, that's
and
it.
You think about the ripple impact that has, right? Which in turn opens up the door for bigger lies to be accepted as truth for a variety of purposes. So my question to everyone listening right now is, how truly honest are you with yourself and with others? And what are the lies you've grown to be okay with in your reality? And with that, I hand it off to you, Ross.
Thanks. So there are times in our lives when we experience a trauma, whether it be physical or an emotional. And at that point, we create the idea that somehow we're the cause or the victim of this. And then we promise ourselves that it will not happen again because we're going to make some changes. And change we do. Kind of. This precipitates the forging of a little lie, which in turn alters our perceptions of external scenarios and or our own personal image construct. So what I'm getting at is that we're often arbiters, we're poor arbiters actually of our own emotions and desires. We lie to ourselves, just like Gary was saying. And we do it for, in many cases, one big obvious reason, and that's to protect and or defend. So we will ultimately just feel better. We may not know exactly what we're lying to ourselves about, but it's safe to assume that some chunk of what we consider truth today is likely nothing more than a defense mechanism against some deeper meaning, which is painful to accept. So by lying to ourselves, we mortgage our long-term needs in order to fulfill our short-term desires. Now think about that. because you start looking at things as more of the bigger picture and such, you'll see that concept in a lot of things that we do. So therefore, one could say that personal growth, our own personal growth, is merely a process of learning to lie to oneself. At least at least less. So when it comes to uncovering our own deception, many of us rely on conceptualized beliefs to protect ourselves. In other words, beliefs that only exist in our own bubble of existence. So these beliefs, true or not, then become the building blocks for our foundation, for our concept of who we think we are, encompassing all of our thoughts and feelings about ourselves physically, personally, and socially. And this self-concept also includes our knowledge of how we behave, our capabilities, and our individual characteristics. So a large portion of this develops most rapidly, as Gary was saying, at early childhood and adolescence. But the concept of ourselves continues to form and change over time as we learn more about who we want to be in comparison to who we actually are.
Yeah. Or even worse, who we think we should be.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes this realization can be shocking and surprising, and sometimes it can be sad and depressing, while other times quite humbling. So I remember a time when I was going through with a coach, I was going through a process, and this particular process is about the ego. And we had to close our eyes, and we were to imagine we were in front of ourselves, because then we were having a conversation with ourselves. And then he switched and said, now imagine that person in front of you is your ego. Now, without realizing it, my eyes are closed, and I just went like this. And then he had us open our eyes, and I was looking up. That's how big my ego was. I was shocked all get out, because I thought, yeah, I'm a pretty self-confident person, but I didn't think I had an ego like that and such. So that was a trauma to me, because I was hurt. I'm like, I thought I was a pretty humble kind of guy and such. And so I made changes in my life as well. Because for that ego to have gotten that big, I had to do a lot of, okay, I'll call them lies to myself, just to myself. It wasn't to anybody else. So by delving into this arena of self, we should understand it as a knowledge structure. People pay attention to themselves far more than they think they do, noticing both their internal states and responses and their external behavior. So through such self-awareness, people collect information about themselves, and for the record, they create information about themselves as well. Just just grab it out of the air. So this continues to be built from this information, and it continues to develop. And as people expand their ideas about who they think they are, here's the rub. As many of you listening today are confident in who and what you are, there are many other in today's society who are more concerned with who and what others think they are, how others perceive them, letting others' opinions of them supersede and or define their own opinions of themselves. So the facade continues. And it continues to perpetuate and unfortunately continues to be updated based on circumstances and others' opinions. So most of this stems from our perception of our self-image. How we truly see ourselves. Self-image includes what we know about ourselves. This is your self-image. Okay, what do I know about myself? Okay, got brown hair, brown eyes, I'm tall, I weigh this much, then you have our social roles, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a gardener, I'm a mechanic, I'm a doctor. And then we have our personality traits. Are we outgoing, serious, kind, humble, shy? This is our self-image. This is who we really, really are. But self-image doesn't always match reality. Some individuals hold an inflated perception of one or more of their characteristics. These inflated perceptions may be positive or negative, and an individual may have a more positive view of certain aspects of their self and a more negative view of other aspects. So if self-esteem is low, then these particular characteristics are often augmented to fulfill a particular pseudo role or a facade to imply an ideal self, which is the self that we would like to be, or at least in many cases be perceived as being. So here lies the great incongruence, the difference between one's self-image and one's ideal self. Who you are versus who you want to be. An area where many will actually settle or even sacrifice their values to attain the image that they prefer others to perceive them as. This incongruence between the self-image and the ideal means there's a discrepancy between oneself and one's experiences, leading to an internal confusion or a cognitive dissonance that prevents any actual self-actualization. So as we're congruence between the self-image and the ideal self means that there's a fair amount of overlap between the two. While it's difficult, if not impossible, to achieve perfect congruence, greater congruence will enable a self-actualization. So when you meet people who are inconsistent in their opinions, their stances, their beliefs, their actions, they're incongruent with their internal belief structure, unable to maintain a true stance, mostly because they forgot what they did or they said yesterday. The difference between living for the moment, but not really in the moment. What's good for today? What is it, Gary? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Most people are not even aware of the ways they fool themselves. But there are many signals of self-deception, outsized emotional reactions to present to certain situations, behavior that is out of step with who you claim or aim to be. These can be indicators that we believe things about ourselves that are false or fail to believe things that are true. Okay, this is kind of like walking your talk or somebody else walking their talk. It's like, well, you said this, but you did this. You did this, but you said that. I thought you didn't believe in doing that kind of stuff. And as Gary was saying, imagine when you're 5 or 6 years old and you're trying to understand this concept because it's being thrown at you. You're seeing it from your parents, whatever the case. And you're just going, but you said this, that's how it all starts.
Yeah.
So
integrity and congruence, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So here's some examples of the lies we tell ourselves. Okay. And some of these are going to sound familiar. And I'm sure some of you have your own as well. And because this behavior, it bit by bit is chipping away at the foundation of your true self. Okay, so I'm going to buzz through these real quick. So, number one, if I could just blank, then my life would be amazing. If I had more time, I would do blank. If I say or do blank, people will think I'm stupid. That's a big one. Or that's just who I am. Or I don't regret anything. There's something inherently wrong or different about me. I would change, but I can't because of. I can't live without blank. Here's one of my favorites. I know what I'm doing. And then my ultimate favorite.
This is the worst. Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard that? How many times have you said it? Come on, just be truthful with yourself. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, if you've said any of these 10 phrases to yourself at one time or another, then you're lying to yourself. Okay, that's all we're doing. We're putting this out there so that you understand. So our minds are always looking for ways to soothe us, keep us okay, keep us in our status quo, and lead us into a comfortable zone. The comfort zone is okay for rest and recovery, but it can't be a way of living. If left to its instincts, your body won't improve. And over time, it'll devolve. Not just the body, the mind, and the spirit, and the body. You'll become so complacent. You'll become so bored. And then you'll become so sad. Working on your self-awareness and catching yourself as you are telling these lies to yourself is the only way to shut that inner voice down. Your inner saboteur. Practice stating a contrary statement as soon as you have the impulse to tell one of these lies. I know that. Well, actually, I really don't know that. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. Okay? Each one of them has an opposite. Each lie, there's a truth. Figure it out. I gave you those examples above. I'll put those in the feed later today. But use those. Make up more of your own. Put down in the comments, as you think of these, and they don't have to be lies you're telling to yourself. Obviously, it can be lies that you know of other people, lies your parents told you, lies your grandparents told you, your good friends. Okay, use those so you can become more honest with yourself. And once you open up to that honesty, once you shine the light, then you'll see your authentic come into the light.
Yeah. And you're right, Ross. The solution is ultimately to practice, right? Because we've gotten so that sub-programming in the matrix has been there for so long that it's on autopilot. And it's kind of reference to what we talked about. Yeah, it's what we talked about a few weeks ago, the ghost in the machine, right? And it's one of those ghosts in the machine that are impacting and influencing the outcome of the reality that you experience. Right in the infinity matrix, and so what you want to do is you want to catch yourself and notice notice that you're lying, and you want to surround yourself with people who will gently and lovingly also call you on it as well, right? So that you're because sometimes you're not going to notice it. So if you have people who can say, hey, remember, the earth doesn't go around, the sun doesn't go around the earth, it's the other way around, da, da, da. You know, it's you get someone to kind of support you in that, instead of you just being this lone wolf, you know, trying to go against the grain, because that's not the intention here. The intention is start to allow everybody to wake up to more truth, right? You know, so you can actually change the course and reprogram the matrix for more truth, not just from yourself, but from those around you, right? So when the next person tells you the sun is coming up or going down, in whatever format they do it, you can gently remind them, hey, the sun actually doesn't move. The earth is rotating our position either towards or away from the light. That's what's happening. So it's actually more accurate to say that we move into the light and we move out of it. Or even as we move towards the solar experience, or we move towards the lunar one. That's what's actually going on. Right? And yeah, sure, I know, because I get them all. You're gonna get strange looks. I get it. All right. Some people will be baffled, you know, and but that's a sign that you've created a shift in their version of the of reality in the infinity matrix, right? You've made that crack in the door, and you've opened up more possibilities for truth to show up for both of you, right? It opens up the groundwork to say that, hey, truth is okay. We can laugh about it. We can honor that that's not what we did before, but that doesn't have to be what we do in the future, right? So, you know, how deep into your reality does lying go? Well, let me just share a screen here. 1 second. Ross, I'm going to take you out for a second. All right. So, how far, how deep into our reality does lying go? When you look at these pictures, I'm going to go through a few pictures here. When you look at these pictures, I want you just to, you know, quickly throw into the comments what comes to mind for you, right? When you look at that, let me zoom it in just just so we get some full view there, right? All right, so you see that one. What about, come on. There we go. What about that one? Right, go ahead and comment and tell me what kind of, you know, what conjures up when you see these images. All right, and then, you know, my personal favorite, where is it? Oh, here. It's taking a while. There it is. Okay, that's my granddaughter. That's why it's my favorite. All right. Okay, so let me see what we got in the comments here. So what kind of things are conjured up? So sweet, lovely, love. Okay, what else is there? There we go. Love, love, love. Okay, so yeah, so we got a lot of good stuff. So as I figured, right, we didn't have anyone screaming, liars, right? We weren't labeling them liars. Oh my gosh, they're liars, right? But from an early age, we are assessing how things work and what we need to do to get things to work out in our favor. So we're actually starting very early to become masters of self-deception. That this means that means this. If I do this, I get that. If I don't do this, I get that. And so we start to create these distinctions that start to begin to form and shape your identity. And as it forms and shapes your identity, it brings along a set of belief systems, right? Which again are not, their belief systems are not, they're not formed in truth or reality 99% of the time, right? And when you have those sets of belief systems, it allows for a set of capabilities that we think we have, or skill sets that we have or don't have, because those belief systems allow for that. And when you have those capabilities and those belief systems supported by those, capabilities supported by those belief systems and that identity, it ultimately establishes the behaviors that you take. And those behaviors, based on those capabilities and those beliefs and that identity, then transpire into the environment that you call reality. So you see, it's not something to just kind of overlook and just pass by. It's something that you should start to look at and start to explore more of, where is it that this is happening and what can I do about it? And when you operate in a reality of lies, big, small, or anywhere in between, then it's near impossible to connect and hold firmly to your true, authentic self. The vibrational frequencies just don't match up identically. You may get close, you may get a version of it, you may get similar, you may get almost, but because if that frequency of these lies at any range are functioning, it's going to repel the true, authentic self to the same degree which it's running your life. Right? So that's the deepest core. Right? At its deepest core, it means that you are always expressing a version of your truth and a version or portion of your divine power. And this is why it's so, you find that so many spiritual teachers and mystics and philosophers and, they find themselves on a quest for what? They're not going on a quest for the lies. They're not questing for the untruths of the world, right? They're on a quest for truth in one way or another. Right? Now, we're not going to flip a switch and turn on everyone's bright, radiant, and powerful selves in one live stream, but we can help to get you on a path that's more likely to get you there in your own right timing. Right? And hopefully you've started to question throughout the stream today. Hopefully you started to question, how do I know that is true? Whatever that is for you. Right? And, we could go on and on. I mean, that list that Ross gave, I mean, I can blow holes all day in every one of those. Okay. And, if we wanted to, actually, if you want to, and what you can do is you can jump on the rabbit hole tomorrow on the live Zoom. And let me throw the registration up here just again. You can jump on the rabbit hole tomorrow. Let me bring Ross back in. And you can join us in a conversation about these things and kind of let's explore them. Let's talk about them and see. Let's have some stimulating, fun conversations and see where it goes. Right. So join us tomorrow in the rabbit hole. So before I go to the hack today, because I do have a really cool little hack, let me do the draw for the winner as I promised. From all those who reached out and commented last week, we really appreciate seeing so many people who actually watched all 30 episodes to date in one way or another. The prize you'll be getting is a complete set of hypnosis audios, which I created many years ago, but I took off the shelf when I retired from hypnosis. And it's called Secrets to the Manifesting Mind. And it's a 16 powerful hypnotic processes that are designed to train your unconscious mind to manifest the reality you desire on autopilot. It's an amazing series. Okay. It's still not available anywhere to the public yet at the moment, but it will be later on this year. So you kind of get, whoever wins this is going to get a full set of it. And Oh, look what I have. I just happen to have a fishbowl with a bunch of names in it. Look at that. How did that happen? It's like, I had my assistant come by and give me this. So, all right. So you guys ready? All right. Drum roll for the winner. Okay. Da-da-da. One person coming up. Make sure that's one piece. Okay. There we go. I got the name, and the name is Tina Murad. Hope I pronounced it right. Tina Murad. Woohoo!
Way to go, Tina. Fantastic.
Awesome. So Tina, if you can reach out to me, just message me on Facebook, and then I will touch base with you on how to get access to that. And yeah, now hopefully, Tina, can you chime in? I'm hoping that you. Wouldn't that be funny if she wasn't here today? But she may watch the replay, so let's give her the benefit. She's got 24 hours. Okay. If she doesn't contact me within 24 hours, Tina, that's you right there. If you don't contact me in the next 24 hours, I will pull someone else and give them the award, the prize. All right. So I'll give her that time for the replay. All right. So the hack for today, it'll be a simple one, and it's focused on what we've found, Ross and I found it to be very common lies. And even the list that Ross gave kind of is variations of these, right? Very common lies that people have adopted as truth. Now, not everyone, I get it, but many, many people, right? We find it quite a bit.
I think we can honestly say that some variation of these everybody has used at one time or another, or still is, or plans on it, I think, in some cases.
Yeah. And so what I'll do is I'll cover the lie real quick, and then I'll give the antidote to wipe it out, right? So, and as we said before, the strategy is when you catch yourself, you stop it, and then you reprogram. You give a different program that you're going to start to accept, right? And then we'll post these as well in the post either later today or tomorrow. All right. So lie number 1, I'm not blank enough. You just fill in the blank. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not fit enough. I'm not athletic. I'm not smart enough. Whatever it is, just fill in the blank. I'm not blank enough. Okay. This is absolutely not true. Because first of all, it's based on a judgment that someone made up, and it wasn't always you.
Right.
Okay. So, so when you notice that, when you catch yourself saying or thinking this, stop before completing the lie and reprogram this instead. I'm greater than I think I am, no matter how great I ever think I am. Okay, so I'll say it again. I'm greater than I think I am, no matter how great I ever think I am. Now, there's a whole lesson in that alone, but just say it. There's a whole lesson in that we cover in our Success Hacks 7-day quest program, which, by the way, we will be doing again in the near future. We'll fill you in on details in upcoming posts and streams. So please keep an eye out for that, for the Success Hacks 7-day quest. But the I'm greater than I think I am, no matter how great I ever think I am, is a whole lesson in of itself. Just say it, right? Just interject that and have that as the new programming. Okay. Lie number 2, blank things, people, or circumstances. You can fill in any of those. Blank is the things, people, or circumstances. Fit into that blank. Make me positive, negative, or neutral emotion. You fill in what that is too. So they make me sad, they make me happy, they make me bored, they make me whatever. So blank makes me blank. Okay? People, things, or circumstances make me positive, negative, or neutral emotion. Fill in those spaces. All right? You see, when you claim this lie, you're immediately taking the power of your choice away from yourself, and you're handing it over, that power, to that thing, person, or circumstance. This is a critical one that you should stop. Just stop this lie and program the truth that you and only you can choose your emotions, good, bad, or indifferent. The choice is always yours. Take responsibility for it, right? Accept the consequences, but stop that lie before completing it and program it, do the new programming of I always have choice, and the emotions I choose, and the emotion I choose is positive, negative, neutral, you name that. That's the emotion. The emotion I choose is blank, and I'm okay with that. Right? So I always have choice, and the emotion I choose is blank, and I'm okay with that. All right? Again, whole pile of lessons in there that we cover in the 7-day program. The number 3, right? The number 3 lie. I don't have time for blank. Oh my gosh, this is such a rampant lie out there. Okay? The reality is that you either are not utilizing your time in the right way to make the time for that thing or person, or you haven't prioritized that thing or person enough to have the time. Think about that, right? So those things, I don't have time to that. I don't have time to. Well, it's because you haven't prioritized that enough. Because if you were to prioritize it enough, you would find the time. You would make the time. Time would just show up for you in the matrix, and you would then fill that time with doing that thing if it was high priority for you. Right? So again, when you catch yourself in this lie, stop the programming, reprogram it with, I have time for all the things I prioritize and deem as important. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
So that's your hack for today's stream. We want to thank you all for joining us and sticking around to the end. Your attendance and participation means a lot to us. We sincerely hope that we bring every week the ability to create positive and profound ripple effects into your version of the Infinity Matrix. So once again, if you haven't joined the private group yet, what are you waiting for? Oh my gosh. I mean, we're there we go. It's right there on the screen. You can just head there. The link we'll throw into the comments again. When you get there, enter the 3 questions and you'll get automatically accepted. If you want to get on a live call with us and a bunch of other super cool people to just jam about some fun topics, you can meet us on Zoom tomorrow. Let me throw that one back up. Where's the Zoom one? On the rabbit hole. So just go to that link and you can register to be on the Zoom and get the proper link to jump on. And we will be streaming live if the Facebook world allows us to next week. We'll be streaming live only to the group page. So if you can't actually jump on the Zoom, you can actually participate in the chat there and watch us there as we stream it live to the group page. All right.
I think that's it.
That's it. So till next Thursday, or tomorrow if you jump on the rabbit hole with us. Be well, everyone, and keep hacking the Infinity Matrix so that you can become unstoppable.
So I'm going to leave everybody with one last thing. Everything that Gary was just telling you has now brought this to the surface, has brought it to the forefront. So now when you realize that you're doing this, you can't just say, oh, it's just something I do. It's now always going to be a choice.
100%.
Am I going to continue to lie? Am I going to continue with this particular lie? It's a choice now.
Tina, remember to contact me, right?
Tina, where are you?
So we can get you your prize.
We're going to make you famous. We're going to make you famous. We're going to spread your name across. Tina, where are you?
All right. Be well, everyone.
Everybody at the rabbit hole tomorrow. They are so much fun. Sometimes you can get on just to listen. You don't have to be on the Zoom video. You can turn your camera off.
Or
they're just. We've had what was it, 2 weeks ago? We had somebody that was on for 45 minutes before he even decided to participate, and then it was really cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So come join us, guys.
Be well, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.